Considering the work and productivity aspect, can we call this machine the MacBook of the Windows world? Hello everyone, I'm here for Fiber by India Today, and this is the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED 2024. Now in the past month reviewing this sleek bad boy, I have been mighty impressed. For one, I think when it comes to relatively affordable productivity focused Windows laptops, Asus has definitely carved a special place in the market. Trust me, I'm a die-hard MacBook user, and until and unless I'm not reviewing a Windows machine, I don't switch to the platform. In fact, in years, I haven't switched from Mac OS. But honestly speaking, if I were to ditch my MacBook in favor of a Windows machine, this is what it would be. Not the Dell XPS, not the HP Spectre, not any other Windows laptop, but this one, the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED 2024. But what makes this machine so special? Let's find out in the full review. So starting with the looks and build, and this blue color of the ZenBook 14 OLED looks quite refreshing. I mean, it surely stands out among the typical silver or black options that we usually see. Additionally, the subtle glossy lines running across the lid add character to the look without being flashy. Now, one drawback, if I may add to the otherwise good looking and sturdy build, is the finish isn't the best when it comes to resisting smudges and fingerprints. But otherwise, the durability of the all metal chassis is impressive, especially since it is still military grade tested. And you feel the sturdiness when you hold the laptop, the way the hinge mechanism firmly holds the display frame in place, showing no signs of bending when the chassis is flexed. Basically, the robust construction that you are getting here suggests that this laptop is built to last. The best part, at 14.9mm thick and about 1.22 kilograms in weight, Asus has managed to make this model even smaller and lighter than its predecessor. I mean, this laptop is impressively light for an aluminum build laptop, and this is all without compromising on that premium feel. Now, despite its sleek premium design, Asus ensures you don't miss out on ports with the ZenBook 14 OLED. So the laptop features two Thunderbolt 4 Type-C ports, an HDMI 2.1 port and a headphone jack on the right side, complemented by a USB Type-A port on the left. And while there's debate about the relevance of legacy ports, the reality is that a vast majority of wired peripherals still rely on USB-A connectors rather than USB-C. And having a laptop equipped with these ports means you're ready to connect without needing a USB-C hub. Now, for the longest time, I have used MacBooks, and naturally a MacBook's keyboard is the most comfortable I find to type on. However, my experience with the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED keyboard defied expectations. I mean, this keyboard here is truly outstanding and definitely ranks among the best I have encountered. The keys boast a satisfying 1.4mm travel, striking a perfect balance of tactile feedback without harsh bottoming out, resulting in a superb typing experience. The keycaps themselves feature a subtly concave design which is barely noticeable to the eye, but the impact of it is that for those long typing sessions, this keyboard is very comfortable. As for the trackpad, there's no cause for complaint. It is a large glass trackpad with a smooth and tactile surface, offering a satisfying user experience with every scroll and gesture. As a bonus, Asus has also thrown in their signature number pad, which can be enabled and disabled with just a simple touch in the corner. Now, Asus has been one of the pioneers in embracing OLED technology for laptops, and the company has ensured that you're getting the best on this machine. So my unit here, which is the top trim, sports a 14-inch OLED panel with a 3K resolution, a 120Hz refresh rate, Gorilla Glass protection, full coverage of the DCI P3 color space, and an impressive 550 nits of brightness. Notably, it offers touch and pen input capabilities despite not being a convertible device. Now, true to OLED's reputation, the visual experience is stunning. With pixels capable of being turned off entirely, the blacks are deep and truly black, providing superb contrast. I mean, this laptop is a treat for those who love to watch a lot of movies and shows on their laptop. Plus, the dual downward-facing speakers tuned by Harman & Kardon get plenty loud to fill up a decent-sized bedroom, making it pretty much solid for a satisfying multimedia experience. However, one minor nitpick would be that Asus gives you this Gorilla Glass protection on the display, which is great, but it does introduce a significant amount of reflection, particularly noticeable in bright daylight conditions, detracting slightly from an otherwise excellent display. Now, the ZenBook 14 OLED also gets this 1080p webcam up front at the top. There's also privacy shutter, which is a good value addition. And this is the kind of quality that you get. Of course, you're also getting a host of features like this background blur that you can see. There's an eye contact feature. There's auto framing as well. And the quality here is commendable. Definitely one of the best webcams that you can get on any laptop right now on the market. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Notably, with support for Windows Studio Effects, users can apply background blur and other filters seamlessly across various applications without taxing CPU resources, which is a noteworthy feature that adds to the overall appeal of this laptop. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the top tier version in the ZenBook 14 OLED series that I have received for testing. So this machine is powered by the latest generation Intel Core Ultra 7 155H chipset, which has 6 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores and 2 low power efficiency cores. There's 32GB LPDDR5X RAM paired with 1TB of SSD storage. Now, there are two interesting things about the new Intel Ultra chipset inside this laptop. First is the presence of an integrated NPU, which will mostly come in handy with AI related tasks. Of course, the best it is being utilized right now is for webcam related tasks, which I just showed you, like auto framing and applying background blur. But the NPU aside, the latest Ultra chipset also features the Intel Arc integrated GPU, which according to claims is twice as powerful as the Iris Xe integrated GPU. So before I go ahead and talk about the actual performance of this machine, here's a look at some of the benchmark numbers. As seen in the Cinebench R23 results, the numbers clearly show that the new Ultra 7 155H chipset slots right in between the Core i7 1360p and the power-hungry Core i7 13700H processors. Even in the Geekbench results, while I noticed the single core result of the i7 13700H to be more than that of the Ultra 7 155H, in multi-core, once again, the Ultra 7 155H scored almost as much as the i7 13700H and more than the i7 1360p processor. So going by the benchmark numbers, sure, this may not be the fastest chip that we have ever seen in an Ultrabook, but honestly, the real-world performance of this machine has been fantastic to say the least. Now, when it comes to handling day-to-day tasks, the ZenBook 14 OLED is pretty apt at it and does so without getting any pressure. You see, my usage generally involves a lot of typing, juggling between multiple Chrome tabs and watching a lot of YouTube. So for all of this, the ZenBook 14 OLED has all the raw power in the world, and so no complaints whatsoever. That said, where the ZenBook 14 OLED really excels is the hardcore performance bit. Now, I'm not saying that this machine will fill the void of a full-fledged creator's machine, but Intel's claims about the Arc GPU being twice as fast as the Iris Xe GPU, well, that shows in the real-world performance. I mean, for a leisure laptop, I was also able to use Photoshop extensively on this machine, and even games such as Tekken 7 was playable at the best settings to get a consistent 60 FPS output. I mean, this is something that I have never experienced on my MacBook, nor I've seen something like this before on any Windows Thin and Light high-end laptop. The Asus ZenBook 14 OLED features the same old that we have heard of before, a 4-cell 75 watt-hour battery along with 65 watt charging. But you know, the battery life on this machine actually shines, and partly the reason behind that could be the low power efficiency cores, the 2 low power efficiency cores that you get on the Ultra 7 155H chipset. Now, the battery life here is still not as good as my MacBook, but then again, gaming is one thing that I'm just not able to pull off on my Apple device. With that said, if you're someone who juggles between work and play, you can rest assured the ZenBook 14 OLED can comfortably give at least a full day of endurance on a single charge with moderate to heavy usage. Heck, if you're a light user where your workflow only deals with browsing, some video watching or working on MS Office, and also considering with minimal to no drain when the laptop is on sleep, the ZenBook 14 OLED can even hit the golden 2 days of battery life on a single charge. In a nutshell, the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED for me has really exceeded expectations. Not that it was low from the get-go, But you see, when we talk thin and light laptops, especially Windows 11 machines, there's always something or the other that is missing. Now, some manufacturers cut corners on the design, some on the display, some don't have a good pair of sounding stereo speakers, and trust me when I say this that I have seen Windows 11 machines that look good, are sleek and light, but the battery life on them is abysmal. And this is where the ZenBook 14 OLED steps up, starting at about 97,000 rupees and going all the way up to 1,20,000 rupees. This machine scores high on looks, but it is sturdy as hell. The OLED display here is gorgeous. The keyboard and trackpad are one of the comfiest you can get around. The webcam's quality is nice, and surprisingly for a Windows machine, the battery life has been solid. Fiber rates the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED 2024 an 8.5 out of 10. Rest you guys let me know your thoughts about this machine in the comments below, and as always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Fiber. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.